Judy, this is for, this could be both for Connecticut and Florida.
No.
No?
My answer is going to be...
Connecticut only?
Yeah.
Okay.
'Cause I'm not sure if they have a... What I'm going to say is specific to Connecticut.
Okay, fine.
With mediation, they can always... with Florida, again, we can give the law, not in a video, I think, you know?
Understood.
Okay.
My children are now very young, but what happens financially when they are ready for college?
At the time of your divorce, okay, I was going to say something that's way beyond the scope of this question. Under Connecticut law, you will have the ability, no. Under Connecticut law, at the time judgment is entered on your divorce, you will be asked by the court, under Connecticut law, you have the opportunity to provide, when can I get this out? Just talk. I'm too stilted. I'm too worried. No, I'm just too worried about what I'm going to say correctly. Not correctly, but for this video stuff,
Yeah,
instead of just talking, you know?
Talk.
Under Connecticut law, the judge will inquire at the time, under Connecticut, well, I have to stay 2 minutes, okay. At the time of the divorce, with young children, you will have in place, as part of your order, a child support order that will provide for the support of your children during their minority. Providing financial assistance for college would be an order entered by the court, which is a post-majority support order, because the children will have reached their majority by the time they go into school. At the time of the entry of the divorce, the court will ask you to choose whether you want the court to retain the power to revisit this issue when the children are in high school about to go to college, or whether you want to give up. Okay.
Where are you going with this?
Retain, if I just easily say, the court's going to ask you if you want the court to retain jurisdiction or not. But they're not going to know what retained jurisdiction is, so I'm trying to explain what that is. Okay. If you have minor children at the time of your divorce, your divorce judgment will provide for child support to support the children during their minority. Having young children now, you're certainly going to be interested in what is going to happen and how our finance is going to be managed to pay for college for our children. And that can be addressed at the time of your divorce. Under Connecticut law, you will instruct the court whether or not you want the court to still have the power to address the issue of who's going to pay what for college for your children when they're ready. And this is an option for you if you both agree that you would have provided financial assistance if able to pay at the time. If you, God damn it. Okay. So what's the question again?
My children are now very young. What happens financially when they are ready for college?
If at the time of your divorce you have minor children, the court order, whether entered by agreement or by court direction, it will provide for the support of your children, and that support will be only during the children's minority, unless you and your husband, okay. At the time of divorce, if you have minor children, your support. At the time of divorce, if you have minor children, your judgment dissolving your marriage will provide, during your child's minority, for child support. The issue arises much later as to how you're going to finance the education of college or vocational school that's post-majority for your children. You can address this by agreement in your Wait a minute.
Okay.
If at the time of the entry of your divorce, you have not protected the financial, I'll get this out. Give me a chance.
I know you will.
Yeah. I have to decide how I want to go with it.
Can we change the question a little bit?
Sure.
Do I need to pay for my college kids, my children's college
If a court
education?
decides.
This is going to come up much later on after the divorce, in a lot of cases.
It's too late if you haven't retained jurisdiction. You have the opportunity, when you go to judgment, you have to tell the court whether you want the court to retain the power to decide this issue later on or not. Oh, let me do that.
Okay.
At the time of divorce.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. At the time of your divorce, the court will ask you, you have to decide. At the time of divorce, you will be asked by the court to indicate whether you want the court to retain the power to decide the issue of how college finances are going to be paid at a later time. If you retain the jurisdiction of the court, that means that at the later time when you face these issues, if you and your spouse or your then former spouse cannot resolve it by agreement, you can come back to court and have a judge review your financial situation and make a determination on how the educational costs for your child will be paid. Now, in the alternative, if at the time of your divorce you indicated to the judge that you did not want I was going well.
Mm-hmm.
I want to lay it out just easily. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, I'm more tired than I think. Okay. Say the question again.
Sure. My children are now very young, but what happens financially when they are ready for college?
At the time of divorce, you will be asked by the court to indicate, with respect to college finances for your children, whether you would like the court to retain the power to decide this issue at a later time. And if you do, then you can return to court if you and your spouse cannot make that decision. If you decline the court's continuing jurisdiction over the issue of college, you cannot return to court. And then, therefore, okay. Do you understand the issue of retain or not retain?
I do. I look at it from a marketing.
Okay, so what do you want to hear?
How many searches are being done for this issue?
Okay.
The searches that are being done for this issue are,
they are. They're asking.
They're asking.
Okay.
But it's not when they're getting a divorce. This comes.
So that's
10 years
why
later.
it's important. Okay. All right. So. The financing of your young children's college education at a future date is an important issue that should be addressed at the time of your divorce. If an agreement is, all right. The issue of financing your child's college or vocational post-majority education is a very important issue that should be addressed at the time of your divorce. If you are entering into an agreement that will become your divorce decree, do pay attention to that. It is important that if you do not, I started off good.
Right.
Wait, give me another shot.
Okay.
All right. The issue of
Deep breath.
Okay.
You got it on this one.
The issue of college financing is important. And even if you have very young children at the time of divorce, this is an important issue to be brought up and discussed. You can incorporate an agreement with regard to the specific financing. In Connecticut, you have two alternatives in this regard. You can retain the jurisdiction of the court to a later time so that you can return to court and seek a court ruling with regard to who pays what, how is the financing allocated, under the Connecticut law providing for college financing. You also have the choice of not retaining the jurisdiction of the court. By doing so, you give up that safety net, because if the parents cannot later resolve the issue remains unresolved and cannot be returned to the court.
Good.